Alrighty, so what I have here is some very basics beginning of a track, and these are just ideas. This is not even a track. This is just kind of this might be where you are right now playing around with your track. What I've done is I have a couple of different sounds, really only 3 different sounds, and I got kind of a fill sound right here. These are all my basses, and as you can see, it's very checkerboarded. We got sound, 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 back to the downbeat sound, and then we have a turnaround sound. Remember what we were discussing with phrasing last week? This is what we call a hocket, and this is very predominant bass music. This is going to be kind of a dubstep track right here. And then leading up to it, all I have is just some notes written out that was kind of like a chant sort of patch that I found in Contact and I was having fun with. And in the meantime, I also made a serum patch that kind of sounds like a voice. So this is a very short bit of music, only about 30 seconds long. Let's listen to it and then think about how we might approach expanding this. So very, very basic, straightforward, kind of going for the classic dubstep womp there. I've got a sub pack on my back, and I just love feeling the vibration with this kind of music. All right, let's look at this first section, and let's kind of talk about developing it a little bit more. First thing I know I want to do is I want to extend this Contact choir sound. I'm actually going to unfreeze it for a second. Let's just make it twice as long just for today's purposes. And we're going to freeze it again. And then I also want to kind of gradually bring in the serum patch. It's already kind of gradually coming in with this filter sweep. Now, we don't have an intro really yet, but this kind of does imply a vibe. It implies a chord progression. That chord progression is pretty much following this. It's just 1 to flat 9. And so in the end, it's not so different from that, but this is like choir, and then it goes into hard dubstep. Then down here, we have the kind of the ha 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 sort of sound right here. You can see the filter sweeps going up. One thing I can tell you about build-ups and about big transitional moments, or sections of songs that are leading to other sections, let's call it that, to really generalize as much as we can, is you are going to be more, if it's a transitional section that you're working on, you are almost definitely going to have long automations. You want to do long automations. In fact, you want to find more excuses to do automations like this. If you don't have these automations, then it might be that a sound is just kind of repeating. How is it changing? And if it's not changing, how is it a transitional section? It is the metamorphosis of sounds and the metamorphosis of your music and your mix that makes something kind of feel like it's transitioning somewhere. So I think a lot of the time, if you feel like one section is not bridging into the other, maybe just look at, it could be as simple as opening a filter, closing a filter, adding reverb, taking elements in, putting elements in, taking them away. The one thing that I do want to try to encourage you to avoid, though, that I think is a big cop-out for a lot of beginner producers, is overuse of volume automation. That is one thing that we will not use today. We're not going to automate any volume, but we are going to make it feel like this is kind of leading somewhere, kind of building up to something. All right, so we have this this Contact patch right here. Actually, let me unfreeze it one more time. I don't even know why I'm freezing it. I think it's just old habit when it comes to Contact patches. I think eventually I'll resample it. We'll keep it just unfrozen for now, because we're gonna go over to this auto filter and let's just. If all of this fades in, now we'll be like this. Whenever you're doing a filter sweep, You don't always need to start from all the way down. Notice that all the way down, you don't hear anything. And you don't hear anything, don't hear anything until about there. You kind of want to find the bottom of your specific track and then kind of lead up from there. But you can't just do low pass filters. Listen to kind of how this sounds if we do a long sweep like this. It kind of sounds like really kind of muffled. Maybe we want it to phase into existence like that, but a lot of the time we don't. Here, I'm going to start a little bit higher. And in addition to opening up a low pass, let's also close a high pass. And this is my favorite alternative right here to volume automation. When you think about it, when you've got a low pass all the way down here and a high pass all the way up there, that equals nothing. You're just going to get nothing out the other side. You're filtering out all the top end and the low end, so you end up getting nothing. This is a really cool way, and I think actually it just sounds better. You know, it comes in really thin. You can barely hear it. You're just hearing the top of it, and it's creeping up. There we go. You hear that? We also got this LFO giving a little bit of motion. And let's land right there. We don't always need to do the full sweep in order to get there.